Welcome to Mainland Television Regional News. I'm Graham O'Brien, and coming up in today's bulletin, men attack and steal from tourists in Nelson City, new record is not cause of celebration, Nelson man named in fraud case, and more. Nelson Marlborough Rescue Helicopter Service has just finished their busiest month in history with a total of 64 missions. This tops off their busiest year last year with a whopping 460 missions, an increase of 28% on 2013. We hope to speak with one of the crew tomorrow to find out how much of a stretch this increase is putting on the service. Should Nelsonians be worried about how safe our city really is at night after a German tourist was robbed in Rutherford Street in the early hours of Wednesday morning? Nelson police are investigating the incident where the 29-year-old man told police he was approached by a male and was then attacked from behind by another man as he walked along the street around 3 a.m. He was kicked and punched before the attackers took his belongings and ran off in the direction of Montgomery Car Park. Members of the public came to the man's aid and he was treated at hospital for minor injuries. Nelson Victim Support are giving the man help. The two attackers took the man's Nike sports bag. The bag is black with red ends. Inside the bag were the man's passport and wallet, which contained cash and €150 notes, along with items of clothing. One of the attackers is described as short and wearing dark shorts, a white and black top and a cap. The second man, who was taller, was also wearing dark shorts and a dark shirt. Anyone with information that may assist the investigation should contact Nelson Police on 546 3840, or information can be given anonymously by calling Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. A Nelson man has been named as one of the 4 charged with Crimes Act offences in relation to a multi-million-dollar gaming machine fraud and appeared in Wellington District Court this week. The alleged offending had been detected during Operation Chestnut, which involved the Department of Internal Affairs, the Serious Fraud Office and the Organised and Financial Crime Agency of New Zealand in a united operation. The case is the largest criminal case in the Class 4 gambling sector. 58-year-old Paul Anthony Max of Nelson has been charged alongside 2 Blenheim men, 55-year-old Michael Joseph O'Brien and 80-year-old Patrick Francis O'Brien, and one other who has been granted interim name suppression. The men all face charges of obtaining by deception. Pokie machine gambling provides over $250 million to the community every year. This funding enables organisations within our communities to provide a wide range of sports and important social, educational and health services. The court case is continuing. Knight Rider is in the news, and this time it's not about a boat nor has anything to do with the Hasselhoff. However, Air New Zealand is now offering Nelson travellers $29 to $39 in what they have named Knight Rider deals to Auckland and Christchurch per seat, including a carry-on bag. This one flight only deal departs Nelson after 10 p.m. However, as with all deals, there is a catch, and this one is only until March 19th and will then be offered to other cities that are unlikely to include Nelson. This could be seen to be another PR exercise to take people's minds away from the unreasonable prices that are the norm. As one of our crew here at Mainland can testify after buying a return ticket to Auckland for an unplanned trip that was booked 5 days in advance, which cost $500. The Deputy Mayor's comments this week on these fares bringing visitors to Nelson could seem to be another red herring, like the 90-minute in advance tickets that was promoted by Air New Zealand late last year. Would visitors plan their trip with the uncertainty of getting last-minute tickets, or not bring any luggage as with the latest deal? We went to the people and asked them if they thought this latest Air New Zealand offer was one that they would be keen to take up. Knight Rider airfares are $29 to Auckland this month. Did you know about these?
No.
No?
No.
But that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We saw the headline in the local paper.
Will you be trying to get one of these fares?
Probably would, yeah.
Yeah, I'd actually be quite keen on using that.
Yeah, I think I might actually. $29, pretty cheap.
Yeah.
To Auckland, yes.
Yeah.
Not Christchurch.
No.
Yeah, it could well do. If we don't get the rubber seats, we look out for those.
Yeah.
Because it is a hell of a cost. Well, it's not so much going to Auckland, it's the Wellington problem that we find.
Oh, okay.
They seem to balance the air flights to Wellington from here based on how long it takes you to get to Picton and then how much it costs you to go on the ferry.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it seems very, very expensive. Put one on there at $19 and we'd have a go.
Normal fares from Nelson to Auckland can be as high or more than $500. Do you think this is excessive?
Definitely, definitely. That's just, I can't even imagine that. I don't see how they can actually get away with charging that personally, but
Oh yeah, it's a bit too much to spend just to fly up north and back, really.
You could go over to Aussie and back.
Cheaper.
We can come from Australia to here with that Mickey Mouse outfit, what they call them, Jetstar,
Yeah.
but it's cost you nearly 3 times as much to fly back.
But that is obviously taking advantage of last-minute people who can't do anything about it. You know, I mean, if it's bereavements or a marriage, okay, you may get 6 months' notice, and therefore you can look out for that. But I do feel sorry for people that have to go on a personal basis at the last minute. You know, 500. I mean, I'd expect to get to Australia and back to see my son in Melbourne for that.
We found it was cheaper to go back on a cruise ship than what it was to fly. Like last year we went back from Auckland on the Queen Elizabeth for $470 each, and that was 5 nights.
What do you think about Air New Zealand's service, and do you think we should have an opposition service to maybe get some cheaper prices?
Yes, that would be awesome.
actually, yeah, because they closed the Origin airport, and that was a bit cheaper. So yeah, I think definitely that would be a good idea.
Well, Jetstar came here, and then you can't get anything out of Dunedin now. Like, we can't fly from Dunedin to Melbourne. And yet the days when they had that Air New Zealand, that cheap one, Freedom Air, we could fly to Melbourne, you could fly to the Gold Coast. But now they're getting all poncied up. The girls are in their fancy uniforms. Those days they wore T-shirts. And, you know, I mean, you get what you pay for. But you only want a seat on the damn thing because it's only 3 hours.
This Thursday, the 5th of February, marks the centenary of the death of the first New Zealand soldier to die of wounds received in battle during World War I. He was Private William Arthur Ham of Ngatamoti, from what was previously called the province of Nelson, which we now call Tasman District. Willie Ham, as he was called by those who knew him, was buried abroad at the Ismaila European Public Cemetery, with his funeral taking place on the 7th of February 1915. Major Cyprian Brereton was commanding officer of the Nelson 12th Regiment, whose men performed with distinction in this early encounter with the Turks along the Suez Canal. Brereton described the encounter and the death of Private Ham in his 1929 book, Tales of Three Campaigns. A second edition of his description of campaigns in Egypt, the Dardanelles and the Western Front is due for release in early April. It will include a large number of previously unpublished additional images, biographical material about named soldiers, a full index and a number of maps that have been added to a book, whose text will remain unchanged. Speaking of anniversaries, coming up this month on Waitangi Day, it is 4 years since Barney the cart horse was confiscated by Nelson City Council due to his owner Lewis Stanton, otherwise known as Hone Maheki, not conforming to restricted access as designated by Council. We caught up with Hone to find out where things now stand in this overcooked saga, and if there has been a shift, or if this is still Groundhog Day.
Yeah, kia ora tātou. Today is the fourth year since the Nelson City Council gave me the blanket trespass of 99.644% of Nelson that they couldn't legally do. Well, today's 4 years on. They still haven't solved the problem. They didn't want me here. They've still got me here. Okay, with the Nelson City Council failing so far, and the SPCA now having the horse, we are back to square one. That's what these signs are all about. Nobody's achieving anything, and if they want to solve the problem, then solve the problem. But first of all, they've got to want to solve the problem. They first of all have to want to listen to what the problem actually is, rather than just have it the Nelson City Council's way, our way, and that's it. Because democracy is a great thing, isn't it?
And finally, Chrissy Small caught up with Nick from the Playhouse in Mapua, who was part of a team organising Music for Mammals fundraiser for the SPCA. But this year, there's a difference.
So it's been a busy time for you, Nick, here at the Playhouse, and you've got Music for Mammals coming up.
Yes, we do. Music for Mammals is on, I believe, the 22nd of February, which is a great day. It's not clashing with any other major events, which is fantastic. So in that event, man, it's crazy. There's like 15, I think, bands, all local guys and girls, obviously. Groups, many different sizes. You've got one-piece, one-man bands. You've got big groups of 6 or 7, and everything in between. I think there's a couple of DJ type things, electronic music, folk music, everything under the sun really that Nelson has to offer in terms of music, and that's all in support of the Motueka SPCA, strictly the Motueka SPCA. All the money that is collected at that event will go towards that organisation this year.
Right, okay, so how did it all become an event?
Well, it wasn't my idea in any way, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love having big events here at the Playhouse. That's what we're all about. However, it was really the musos that came to me in this instance and said, hey, look, we want to create an event that's going to support the local SPCA, and from my point of view, it was a no-brainer, and from their point of view, it was just a great opportunity to combine forces and put together this awesome event.
Right, so look, you've got a reasonably good child-friendly area here, so it's one for all the family?
Definitely a family-friendly event. There's heaps of room for kids to run around. In fact, it's also an animal-friendly event as well. So bring your dog, keep it on the leash. So bring your cat. I would keep the cat on the leash as well. And bring your pig, bring your any tiny like animals, bring them along. That's very animal and kid friendly event. But yeah, there's heaps of room for kids to run around.
Right. Okay, now Nick, it's been a busy summer for you, obviously. What's your biggest crowd that you've drawn so far?
Ooh, I would say the 2 Jazz Fest gigs had a lot of people, although Paul Matson did have a pretty big event here a couple Saturdays back. People all over the deck, out the door. It was great. It was really fun.
Yeah. So look, you're a wee bit tucked away here, but you're finding that's since you've taken ownership of this business, it's been going well.
It's definitely going uphill. It's definitely going in the right direction that way. You know what I mean? But it's a hard slog. It's hard work. But we're out here and we're surviving, and it's all fun and games, really. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Any concerns about the Sprig and Fern moving into Mapua?
Nah, different market. I think other bars might be concerned, but no, it's all good. There's always been something there, like the Tap, and Andy was there before that. So, I mean, there's always going to be a bar in that restaurant and bar in that building. It's just a question of what it is, really. Yeah.
All right. Nick from the Playhouse, thank you very much.
Thanks.
This weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.